When you asked me to be a human book, I was flattered to begin with. And then you need to decide upon a subject, what you want to do, what you want to talk about, and what aspect of your life or passion you might have. And I decided that, or we decided, I guess, that I was going to talk about my travels down the trails of the Canadian Rockies. And I believe the title of mine was called Trenchfoot, or Mildew, Trenchfoot, and Grizzly Bears, Tales Along the Trails of the Canadian Rockies. And the reason I picked that is because part of the passion of my life and something I've done in the past is I've traveled down the Canadian Rockies with a few different groups. This passion was inspired a long time ago when I actually went to high school in Jasper. And our next door neighbor was a guide and outfitter within the park. And so I spent a summer and a bit of another summer in Tonquin Valley, learning to guide and pack, and what a great experience just to see the mountains and to experience wilderness through horseback and share it with other people. A few years after that, I took some boys from Sundre, some young boys that I watched grow up, and they were 14, and I thought for a gift I was going to give them a chance to travel down with us for 3 weeks as we go from the Wilmore Wilderness down into and come out at Rock Lake at the north end of Jasper Park. And it was a 21-day trip, and on that 21 days, 19 of those days it poured rain. And so here we are traveling down the spine of the Rockies, and the boys never got to see hardly any of the mountain peaks. They never got to see the brilliance of it, but yet they still got to experience it. And they were great boys for traveling with, because as soon as they were on their horses, there was never one complaint, never one doubt of where they should be. But one of the side benefits, I guess you'd say, from having taken those boys through the mountains through that heart of the trip is when they did get home. I wouldn't say any of these boys were really the scholarly types, but when they did get home, their mothers all commented on how much their boys enjoyed going back to school, being into a dry environment. As one that has sat down and listened to a human book, I've just found that very interesting because really, when you think about it, the whole story, the whole principle of human books is about conversation. And but sometimes we don't know a starting point for conversation, especially when we meet a stranger. But if they come and they lay down something that they're passionate about, as we listen to their story, as we hear what they have to say, it gives us a starting point for discussion. It gives us a starting point for getting to know each other. Because but like I said before, by us asking questions, we're starting to find a commonality, a point of connection through their story. And I've just found it very enlightening as I've learned about people and what brings them passion and what's part of their life that they feel that they want to share with their audience. And so for me, I've benefited a lot from not only talking as a human book or sharing as a human book, but also receiving from human books and learning about these people and their passions and their interests. And it has brought me a greater appreciation for who they are. And when we meet on the street, the chance then we can continue that conversation, or it draws us deeper into a relationship. And I want to say that more chapters are unlocked as we spend time over a coffee or a chance meeting at the grocery store. So it's been really good for me.